So I go down and started working, and then my cousin just throws the idea in the air. He goes like, "Yo, I want to start doing comedy. I want to find an open mic." And I was like, "Yeah, I want to start doing comedy too." And while I was locked up, I met a part owner of a comedy club. It was like a smaller club at the time, but um, he worked in the prison kitchen as a civilian cook. Also, was involved in the comedy game. So we would talk about comedy, and he's like, "Hey, when you get out, get 5 minutes with the jokes and come talk to me." But I came home, everything happened, my baby mother, and, relapsed again. So completely forgot about comedy until my cousin brought it up. And I was like, let's do it. Give me a month to write jokes. That was the summer of 2016, right? It was like
Wow.
around the end of the summer, 2016. I was like, give me a month to start writing jokes. Fast forward to February 2018, the first time I actually do comedy. Because for 2 years, it was like, next month,
Right, right,
I'll do
right.
it next month. And then around my birthday of 2017, I got invited to a comedy club down there. And a few of the guys that were on the show, one of them was like, he was like a street dude, young kid. And he was like telling jokes about like selling drugs and all that stuff. And I was like, wait, I can tell jokes about like, like I was like, I got like dumb ideas like that I
Yeah,
can probably bring on stage.
yeah.
So I was like writing down, and I was like, all right. I started looking for mics, ended up doing this competition that I won the semifinals. This is my second time
Which
performing ever.
competition was that? Because I did see a clip of you were on, was it Kill Tony?
No, that was a podcast that I got on.
Okay, okay. I think it
Yeah.
was Kill.
That
I think I saw you on. Yeah, because I always
yeah.
do my research. Yeah.
Yeah, Kill Tony was that's a big podcast. That's like Rogan's people and stuff.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
they
No.
do it at the mothership now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I've seen that.
that's yeah, but
That's big.
this was like at a comedy club. It was basically an open mic competition, and it was like whoever they had like 13 semifinals, and each winner goes on the main stage, which is like 420 people, and you basically compete to work at that club. So I won the semifinals, and I was just feeling myself. Like I did good like my first three sets, and then I just bombed for 4 months after that. But I just chased that high of those first three sets. And then
Mm-hmm.
eventually it was just like things started kind of like working, I guess. And after like a year of doing comedy, a year and a half out there, I'm like, yo, let me just go back to New York. Like, I figure I think I found out why I came down here. I got my purpose. Let me get back to my family. I feel like, I have something, to work towards and to not fuck up in New York.
Right.
And I moved out here 2019 and lost my fucking mind. I was just like, what? You could do 5 open mics in a day? Like, I was just like a crackhead. I was just going up everywhere. Because like the first one I did, I bombed so hard that I was just like, oh, I was lucky in Alabama. Like this is the bigger leagues. And I'm thinking about this at an open mic. So I'm not
Wow.
even at like clubs yet, like looking at these big time guys like, like a Mark Norman or even Louis C.K., where you see what they do and you're like, oh no, I'm so far from that. I was in
Yeah.
Alabama thinking I was like, yeah, I'm the next, I'm the chosen one. Like I'm killing it
Yeah.
out here.
And
And
then
I
you came
come
to New
out
York and you're like,
and
oh,
I humbled
yeah.
quick, real quick. But the pandemic happened and I took advantage of it because a lot of people weren't willing to perform or produce shows.
Mm-hmm.
So I started producing some of like the earliest shows and just stayed out. Like I just kind of, was popping up at every rooftop show, park show, wherever I could get up, I could. I wish I would have worked a little harder, but like I still um I definitely benefited from that whole quarantine lockdown, like outdoor shows.
Yeah. I think a lot of people just came up all together during quarantine in different opportunities.
Yeah. Oh, it all
Yeah.
changed. I saw the whole like the gatekeepers, whatever,
Yeah.
like switch over because right before the pandemic hit, there was like a bunch of these producers and like everybody was like, yo, these are the shows. I'd go hang out there, they'll have like 40, 50 people in the crowd and they're laughing. I'm like, yo, I got to get on these shows. And then the pandemic, like as soon as I got like booked on like my first couple bar shows, the pandemic hit. I was like, I just started getting noticed. And a lot of those people didn't come around during the pandemic. It was just like me and a bunch of other idiots that I was friends with. And we all just got together ourselves. And it just kind of like, we got a lot of shit of it. Like we got a lot of shit at first. Like people talking shit about us. Like you guys are that desperate. Like you're going to kill your grandmother to tell a dick joke and fart jokes. Like you guys are crazy. Like I'll punch you in the face. Like people would like threaten us with violence.
Damn.
So yeah, because I created this group page on Facebook so everybody can know where all the shows were at, and they screenshotted it and then just were talking mad shit on Twitter. So if somebody sent me the screenshot of it, I didn't even have Twitter. Like I had it, but I didn't even use it. But I went there just for that, and I started promoting the group page on it because it was like comics talking shit, and it was funny seeing everybody that was talking shit join the group page. I was like, this fuck. And then some people started coming out. They're like, yo, what are these idiots doing? What's wrong with them? How do I find out when the next open mic is? I actually want to show up. Like, it was the funniest shit watching people just switch up. And so, like, yeah, we got shit for it at first, but then eventually, once everybody started, like, doing shows, I realized I was just like, damn, things are opening up and I'm not getting on a lot of these things. I'm obviously not working hard enough. So I just kind of kicked it into like fifth gear and was just driving out to the city every day, just showing my face at clubs, showing my face everywhere I could. And then like it just slowly kind of, came together. And when I linked up with my boy Derek Drescher, you know what I mean? Like
I've seen him before. He's good.
Yeah, like when I linked up with him, he wasn't doing comedy as much. He was doing it like maybe like once a month, for the same amount of years, but just he was like, getting up maybe once or twice a month. He wasn't really out like showing his face around and like, getting into the comedy scene. So I just kind of was just like, yo, come on, like follow me. Let's go. Cause like I clicked with him right away. As soon as I found out he had like, he did heroin, was locked up. You know what I mean? I'm like, he's half Puerto Rican. He reminded me of one of my best friends growing up in Long Island. So like instantly, I'm like, I like this guy. And like we would talk for hours in the car about like, our past and then like shit that we want to do with comedy. And then like I'll be like kind of like I wouldn't say I took him under the wing because he's like, he's like 6 years older than me, but like I was trying to like put him onto game, like kind of show him the ropes. I'm like, yo, this is how like you gotta hit mics every day, you gotta write, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. And just like bringing him around. But he's a harder worker than me. He has more motivation. But sometimes I'll get a little lazy, you know what I mean? Like if I wasn't doing this, I would have took a nap before I went to the city. Look, any chance I get, I'm like, I just want to lay in bed. Most people are sitting right, you know what I mean? Most people I'll be productive. Like he definitely pushes me, gives me extra like push sometimes. And also when like seeing him like just kind of like not grow. Yeah, he definitely grew a lot. Obviously grew a lot. But I mean like just seeing how hard he worked started pushing me to work hard. Because I'm just like, shit, I'm schooling him and now he's schooling me on shit.
So
like,
you both are adding to the relationship of friendship where you're both motivating, where one lacks, you're helping. Yeah.
Like
and
that's why the podcast works.
Yeah. Oh, that's how so, and then you came up with the idea with all these conversations. You're like, let's monetize this. Start a podcast.
I wasn't thinking about money at first. I was just like, let's just start a podcast.
Right.
And, see how it goes. Cause I just loved, I wanted to just record because I wanted to get good at podcasting because I wanted to get on podcasts. You know what I mean? Like I one day I want to get on some of my favorite podcasts with my favorite comedians, and I want to be able to do good. And people think podcasting is easy, and it's just another art.